acting creative. Anything else you want to know about me, feel free to visit my About page on my website, which is donfranklin.org. Okay, so let's get rolling because I have to pass swiftly over to Donna. Feel free to drop in your questions at any time and our moderator will get the questions to us. So basically today we want to talk about how are you doing? Our main goal today, Donna and I, are to provide some hope and some practical strategies for surviving and thriving in these turbulent times that we're in. We know that globally we are all facing something that we have never experienced before. And this is a very troubling experience for entrepreneurs and small business persons. So we just wanted to check in today to see how everybody is doing and to see how we can help. Today, we're going to be looking at some personal development tips, and personal development deals with things, anything concerning your life. So we wanted to talk about your health and wellness and heading towards contentment and peace and prosperity and goal attainment. And then Donna is going to focus on the business development aspect after I have my session. We hope that this is a very interactive session, so as we say, feel free to drop in your questions and anything that we can answer in any way that we can help, we'll be happy to do so. So let's get started on the personal development end. To start off, I want us just to take stock of where we are at the moment. How are you really doing in the midst of this pandemic? It's very important now, especially now in these unprecedented times, but normally to just take a very realistic picture of your life, right? Our lives are a puzzle made up of many interconnected sections. They may seem separate, but they're all dependent on each other, and we really can't pull any of them apart from one another. So today I am asking you and inviting you to take a stock of these different areas in your life. I want you to look at your physical health, your mental and emotional health, your relational health, your social and recreational, your spiritual, your financial, and then your professional, career, business health, because all of them lock in together. For instance, if you're ill, you're seriously ill, you cannot work. If you're suffering from deep depression, you can't work effectively. If your finances are poor and you're in debt, this will seriously affect your career choices. So today we only have time to probably just have a quick look at the first three: physical, mental, and relational. And this is all the time you're gonna have. But hopefully you will employ this strategy to look at all the areas of your life, okay? So normally when I do life coaching, I send my clients this little wellness check. It may look cute, but it's a serious thing. So what I want you to do is take a few moments and think about this, but also you can, go off and do it on your own, because people don't know what they don't know. And you can't build a strong life unless you have a foundation that is sound. So you really want to pick apart your life. I encourage you to do something similar, especially now in these really chaotic times. Even if you never share this information with another human being, it's good to be honest with yourself. And especially now, you want to take stock of where you are pre-COVID, how were things before COVID, and now post-COVID. You want to know if things are as you see my little cute emoticons, is it really things are perfect? Is it perfect, or is it really sucks, or somewhere in between? Because you need to take a stock and know where you are. The title of this webinar is Surviving and Thriving. And basically one of our ideas today is to provide some strategies for you not only to survive, but to thrive. This analogy came to me and it may help you to understand these concepts. So to survive is like treading water. So you're doing what you can to stay afloat. As the definition says, you are enduring the circumstance. But to thrive, you're actually swimming, you are heading towards a goal. And you, as you see in this definition, you're prospering and you're being successful. And this is really our prayer for everybody, that you can prosper at least in some areas of your life as we come out of this pandemic. There's a poll that will be coming out shortly, and I invite you to answer the questions to the poll so we can get an idea of where people really are at. Okay, if we delve a little bit deeper though, we can see that there are actually three realities that can transpire in this crisis or any other crisis, because we go through all types of crises, the personal crisis like a divorce or grief, or this global crisis. So you want to take stock. In A, you are actually sinking. And that is your business is going under and things are getting worse. You can be surviving, which means things are pretty much the same and you're keeping your head above the water, or you can be thriving and business is actually doing well and your life is actually doing well. I want to make something really clear though from this very start. If you are struggling in any of these areas of your life at this time and it's taking everything that you can just to survive, I say kudos to you, because we are all at different places and perhaps your victory is just surviving so you can seek to thrive at another time in your life. So let's look quickly at the 3 areas before I pass on to Donna. We're going to look at your physical health, and I can personally testify that your health has a significant impact on every single area of your life. I have dealt with some illnesses, even with migraine episodes, and it has really affected the quality of my work. Not often, but it has certainly always affected the quantity of my work. So you want to take stock of your physical health because it's essential. And when we talk about your physical health, you want to keep track and look at things like the exercise. Are you exercising at all, at least a little bit? How are your eating habits? Do you eat for pleasure or only for health? Here in the Caribbean, and a lot of times you're only eating for pleasure. We eat when we get together to celebrate, so we're not eating necessarily healthy things or fruits and vegetables part of your diet. Do you take any vitamins, any supplements, any herbal supplements? How is your sleep? And when I asked about your sleep, I'm speaking about quantity of sleep, as in how many hours are you getting? And you should be getting at least 6 hours. Are you getting quality sleep? Because you have to go into the deep realms of sleep. I think there are 4 or 5 different realms to actually get your body to start repairing itself. Have you done anything in this season to try to increase your immunity? I am assuming so, because you can't find any oranges and stuff like that, and vitamin C sold out really quickly. To be honest, there are a lot of diseases and illnesses that we seemingly have no control over. This is the truth. But there are a lot that we can prevent and diminish its effect. We have here in Barbados certainly an alarming high rate of diabetes, hypertension, obesity. And unfortunately, these underlying conditions are now putting us at a greater risk. So it's important. When you are thinking about whether you're surviving or thriving in this particular area of health, you want to just see, okay, if you're surviving, you're doing the things that you normally do. For instance, I started walking, I think it was before January, every morning, and I committed to walking Monday to Friday unless I was gravely ill. And so for me, surviving is, I keep doing that. For me to thrive now, I have to add something to it. For you to thrive, you have to be doing something further that gets you towards your goal. So I have started a little weight training. So now I'm in the thriving section. So if you're surviving, you're continuing your old eating habits, your normal exercise routine, but you want to thrive, you want to come out to this with better health than you had before. Yeah? Okay, so some tips that I have for you today. These are a few tips that I have tried. They work for me. And, you know, the experts tell you to do these things all the time. So you want to get some form of exercise at least 5-6 days a week. You want to increase your fruits and vegetables. You want to be adding vitamins and supplements. Go to bed at your regular time. It is really important. I was going to mention this later, but I'll mention it now, to keep your routine, because you are going to be coming out of this pandemic. You have to go back into work. So if you practice staying up watching Netflix to 3 o'clock in the morning, then you're going to have problems. So you want to stick to your routine. You want to make sure you're getting sunlight. It helps you with depression and stuff, and it also gives you vitamin D. And you want to make sure that you're taking any prescribed medication, especially if you have an underlying condition. So take stock and let me know how you're doing in your physical health. Seriously, people don't like to talk about it, but it is crucial. Your mental and your emotional health. These terms are often used interchangeably, but basically your mental is how you process things and emotional is how you feel about things. I cannot express it. Again, I am a living testimony how important this is to your business life. Depression can affect every single area: parenting, marriage, activities, your spiritual life, your career. So you want to take stock of your emotional health. Please note that even though women tend to be more in tune with their emotions, men also suffer from depression and anxiety and hopelessness, especially in these situations. So I want you to seriously think about this and get certain help if you need it. And also not just that you're going to the depths of depression or anxiety, but it also affects your creativity. And in this particular instance, especially for entrepreneurs, you are going to need to come up with creative solutions and keep your business afloat. And you need to have clear thinking and a positive and a steady mind to do this. So that's why you want to keep check. Anytime that you're going through a crisis, I have what we call a roller coaster of emotions. So, for instance, anytime in this quarantine, you may find that one day you're happy or you're relieved that you don't have to drive through the traffic or run about like a mad person. But on another day, you may be stressed and annoyed at the constant attention you have to give your kids. Another day, you may be fearful of what the future holds. So you want to take an inventory of the negative and the positive emotions that you're feeling. You want to look for emotional triggers. If you're sitting now watching CNN and you're watching the news for 2-3 hours and you realize this is really bringing you down, stop doing it. Just get the headlines. You want to be aware and manage your emotions and manage your stress, because then the stress, remember I said everything affects one another. Your stress then affects your body, which affects your health, which affects your ability to run your business. Since this pandemic has started, as we said, this is a really unprecedented thing that nobody in our generation or previous generation has experienced. So you really want to watch out now for your fear. These are the primary things that you want to watch out for: fear and depression, anxiety, hopelessness, and panic. Because if you can't keep your head above water and manage these emotions, I advise you to seek help, because it's really what depression does. And I'm speaking from past experience. I remember years, 10, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago, suffering from depression and not even wanting to get out of bed. So how are you going to run your business if you don't even want to get out of bed? So you really want to check in on your emotions. Yeah. The other day I heard this really, I think it was 2 days ago, a distressing story about a frontline worker. She took her own life. She was working in a hospital and she saw all these horrendous things and she ended up committing suicide. So you just honestly don't sweep them under the rug. Keep watching out for them. You want to figure out again here if you're surviving or if you're thriving. You want to, if you are normally a person that keeps track of your emotions and you fighting off depression and you walk through your fears, you want to thrive now. So to thrive now in this pandemic, you want to find new ways of dealing with your stress. You want to become more emotionally intelligent. You want to find a way of eliminating depression and anxiety from your life altogether. And you certainly want to think positively, because you're going to need to think positively in this situation. Yeah. So just some general tips again, because these are things that I have used in this situation, but also in previous situations with crises that I have been through. So you want to start to journal or write. If you don't feel like writing, maybe you can do a recording. It's an amazing thing to record your thoughts and listen back to them. You want to make sure you're exercising again, because it helps with stress relief and to release endorphins. You want to get a few minutes of sunlight every day, as much as you can. You want to find a confidant to talk about issues that you're going through. Don't keep it all bottled up inside. Institute some deep breathing exercises. These are really helping me nowadays. If you're spiritual, you want to please keep praying, or meditate. And if you need online help, there's online help, professional help. Please seek it out. Just don't pretend that it's not there, because you're going to need all your wits about you and all the positive thoughts to move forward after the pandemic. The last one I want to look at quickly, because we want to get to Donna, is the relational health. And this basically refers to all your interactions with all human beings. Yeah. So especially now that you're locked up in your house, you want to monitor and maintain your marriage. How's your marriage going? Your parenting, if you're caring for elder parents, like I'm here with my mom, friends and associates, neighbors, those in leave, how are you monitoring these relationships? Because it's been my experience that many times, anything that we go through, any crisis, usually amplifies what was there before. So if you had a really bad marriage, a troubled marriage, now you locked up in this house with this person for weeks, things are going to really get to be a damper. And this is important, obviously, because your family life is of critical importance, but also it's going to affect your business. I was a single mom, so I'm aware of how you just ran from. I remember getting up, get kids ready for school, get out to school, you cook, you come home, homework, sleep, and the days just roll into one another. And now everything has changed, dynamics have changed, your parenting has to change. So, I was honest with my boys the other day. I called them and said, listen to me. If this was 10 years ago and I had to homeschool the two of y'all, two boys, homeschool y'all while working from home, while taking care of the house, cooking, cleaning, I don't even know we would have made it out, you know, except for the grace of God. So kudos to all of those who have to manage everything now, but it is important. Surviving and thriving. If you're surviving, you're keeping your spouse and your children fed, you're calling your parent, you're chatting with friends. So you want to use this as an opportunity, though, now that your children are home all the time, to get to know your kids better. You will know if you're thriving because you're playing new games with your family, you're working on family goals. Maybe your family never sat down and talked about what was important. What are your family values? These are things that you now get an opportunity to focus on, and that's how you will know that you're thriving in this epidemic. You want to make sure also, sorry, not to forget your friends and your associates, your church mates. You want to pay a special attention to those who would have emotional and physical needs at this time. So you really would be thriving if you're helping somebody out. And lastly, some tips. Ensure your kids are keeping up with their work. If you can't get that done, seek online help. Please ask for help. Talk to your kids about the pandemic. It is really, really, I find that you can almost be tempted to laze around at this time, but you really don't want to. As I said before, you just want to stick to the routine, especially with your kids, because when school reopens and you let them know get up at 10 o'clock in the morning and they have to go back to getting up at 6, it only takes 21 days to form a habit. There you are. So you want to stick to your routine, stick to your routine, have some fun, go for family walks, etc., so that you're coming out of this a tighter, stronger family unit, and even in marriage-wise, because this is going to help you with your business. So just to wrap up, you can't, the reason that I had you analyze where you are at in the beginning is because you got to know where you are and what you want. So this is really a good time on the earth to sit down and figure out what is it that you really, really want from your life. Who are you authentically? What do you really want? How will you know when you get there what you want for every area of your life? Write it down, create a vision board, share it with somebody, tell your best friend something. This is an excellent time for self-analysis, and especially spiritual wise and so on. You want to figure out who you are, what you really want, what you really believe, and why you really believe it. So finally, for me to wrap up quickly before I pass on to Donna, how are you going to thrive? You have to commit to a plan for your personal growth. You get help if you need it, be it a friend, a coach, a spiritual advisor, the YBC, an association. Get some help if you need it. You want to dream big, you have a few extra hours, create a vision for your life, create some goals, create an action plan, and actually do something. If you don't plan something, nothing is going to happen. And this would have just been a very point in your life, but you want to come out on top of it. So again, we are aiming for health and wholeness and success in all of these areas. I didn't get today to talk about your social and recreational life, but this is really important if you're a member of association. I didn't get to talk about your spiritual life. This is foundational for me, and everything, all these other areas actually for me revolve around my spiritual life. And your financial life is usually connected to your profession and career, but it doesn't always have to be. You could have another source of income that you need to manage. So now is a really good time to create a budget for yourself and your budget for your family and so on. So now I'm going to pass on to Donna. She's going to talk to you a little bit more about your business development and what's in your house. So over to Donna. Thanks so much for listening, and I look forward to your questions.
All right, so it's been great hearing from Dawn. We in entrepreneurship often study mostly business, and what we've done is undertaken the initiative of looking after the personal side, because most of us run the businesses on our own, as well as perhaps the majority of the business, even if we have some help. What Donna will introduce now is the more business side of it, and we'll hand over to Donna right now.
Okay, thanks. Hi, everybody. I'm Donna Every. Thanks, Dawn. I learned a lot of things there from you and some things that I have just been surviving. I know to thrive at. You know, because as Greg said, and Dawn, our businesses are integral to our lives and vice versa, especially as small business owners, especially if you're running our business ourselves. So it's really important that we have our lives in order, things physical, so that we can make our businesses thrive. I want us to see this season as an opportunity. I mean, we are in a I have been really using the time to reflect and to spend some time working on my business. You know, as entrepreneurs, we often get so bogged down with working in the business and running around and trying to sell and do things that we sometimes don't work on the business. So this is really an opportunity to work on our business and to catch up on things that we haven't done and we really should have done in the past. Like, for example, my husband has been planning a kitchen garden for 2 years. And now that we've shut down, he's been able to actually sit down and not sit down, go out there and create a kitchen garden. And we realize how important it is to be able to feed ourselves. And you don't have to have a huge lot. But because in Barbados, the supermarket shut down kind of abruptly for a few days, and we realized, you know, we have no way to feed ourselves. So it's important that we spend time doing things like that, creating kitchen gardens and other things. This could also be a source of income, or at least reduce your spending, because you can, you know, use the money that you would have used in at the supermarket to, you know, instead. So I want us to look at this as I said, an opportunity to work on our businesses. Secondly, there's so many things coming at us, so much information coming at us, a lot of it negative. We hear all the death statistics and all the things are happening and all these WhatsApp videos coming at you. I have stopped watching those, to tell the truth, and I've stopped looking at how many people have died all over the world, because it really can stress you out and create anxiety. And this is a great time to spend time, as Dawn said, building your spiritual self up. You know, spend time praying, spend time meditating, spend time declaring words of peace and joy and over your life, because it really makes a difference. So I'm totally at peace now. I have no fear in my life. And believe me, I had some episodes of fear early up in this pandemic when I would see the things coming through and all the various WhatsApp videos and everything. And believe me, it's not healthy. I mean, you can't bury your head in the sand. You need to know what's going on, but at the same time, you don't want to feast on that. So we want to feast on positive words and things to encourage us. And as I said, important to spend time actually working on our businesses. A lot of us want to grow businesses. We all say we want our businesses to grow and to thrive, but usually, as I said, we're so bogged down in the work of selling and making that we don't spend time working on our business. So this is an opportune time. And for example, I'm working with my husband as well. I have started a construction firm, and here in Barbados, you know, we're shut down, so construction is, we can't do anything. So he's been spending time with potential clients, pricing work and doing things so that when the shutdown lifts, he can get back out there and start right away. And what I've been doing for him is actually documenting systems. And that's what we really need to do in all of our businesses, document our systems. And I mean, literally everything that we do in our business, we need to be able to document so that we can grow our businesses. If we can't leave our business, we can never grow it. So we need to actually sit down and write down everything we do. So for example, this is as simple as writing a letter. What I've done is we have a letterhead, and I actually sat down and wrote down, okay, the date goes 2 spaces below the letterhead. The address goes 2 spaces below the date. This is the body letter. This is what you do. This is where you save it. So that if I'm not doing that, somebody can walk in and just prepare a letter to our standard. And that goes for every single process. So if you're buying goods or you're buying supplies, you have to sit down and document, okay, you go to a store, you write down what it's for. If it's a particular, like for us, we have construction, it goes to a particular project, you come back, you put it in QuickBooks, and this is what you do step by step by step. So that, as I said, you can leave your business, you can hire people, you can begin to grow, because you're not the only one with all the knowledge in your head. especially if you're making something, you need to document your recipes. I'm not saying to give them to your employees as they come. You might want to hold back some of your secret recipes, secret ingredients or whatever, but you really need to document everything that you do so that you can really begin to grow your business, okay? And then I want to move on now to looking at, can we put out that poll about where people are now? Jonathan or Greg? I want to have it, just get a sense of where people are. Are their businesses still active? Have you gone into hibernation? Have you shut down? Can you all just indicate on the poll?
All right, just quickly take part in the poll for us, please.
I don't know if you need to give instruction on how to do that. I guess unless people know already how to do it.
You should see a poll on your screen. Everyone is seeing a poll on their screen.
So you just click on whichever. It's in multiple choice.
It's just 2 questions, so you can just choose your answers accordingly.
Yeah, I'll do it as well. Oh, I can't do it. Okay. Greg, got anything? Okay, let me have a quick look. Let me put on the glasses. Okay, 48% you're still active, 52% gone into hibernation, and lovely, 95% want to keep going but with alterations, and 5% as original. Okay, great. Thank you very much for that. So we're gonna talk to that. As I said, my husband has a business which I help him with. I have a business. His is going to hibernation. Mine is still going because one of the things I do a number of things. One of which is they're out there. They're online. So that part of things are that's still going on. He's in hibernation, but as I said, we haven't died because there's still things we're doing. We're still working on things so we come out of the this shutdown, we can hit the ground running. So I wanted to share my screen and we're going to walk through something called what you have in your house. And this is based on share. Let me start from here. This is based on a book that I wrote a few years ago, and it's very, very relevant now. People are calling me and saying, you know what, I'm taking out your book and I'm using it again because it is really about surviving in times of financial crisis. Be unfortunately coming into financial crisis if we're not there already. Just to give you the background story, a few years ago, when we just built our house, we were in a bit of a financial crisis. We had owed people all over the place, and the thought came into my mind, I should get a job. And then the impression that I should just look at what I have in my house. So it's based on a story called The Widow's Oil, where this woman's husband died and left her in debt. She was in a financial crisis off the debt, and she went to the prophet and asked him for help. And he said to her, well, what do you have in your house? And she said, well, I don't have anything at all. Oh yeah, I have a little bit of oil. So he encouraged her to use the oil to make a business. So he told her to go around to all her neighbors, collect jars, and her jars. And when she filled the jars up, she was supposed to go and sell the oil, and she was able to do that and pay off her debts and live on the rest. So that's the background of what do you have in your house. So I want to share a few principles of that to take us take our businesses into the future, not just now, but as we go forward. So I want you to think, what is your oil? Now, a lot of you are already in business, and most of you said you're going to continue. I have that backwards. I can't remember. Anyways, the point is, your oil is whatever you have available now. So it may be that you're already in an existing business and you have things that you're doing now, which is great. But you might need to also be thinking, what can you add to that? What income can you add to your business now to earn more revenue? Especially if your business has shut down, and you might have to look at it in a different way. So you might not only look at what you have now, but what can you do to enhance the business? For example, As a trainer, a lot of my work is obviously face-to-face and in classroom settings, etc. And because of the shutdown, what I started to do is to create online video series, which I had been for a long time. So I've got a free video series online, which I'll share a little bit about towards the end. So your oil is whatever you can put your hand on right away that you can use. One of the things I did, as I said, as an author, my books are all out there on Amazon. So using the shutdown where people have time on their hands, supposedly time on their hands, and I started to do a promotion, and I said, I put it out there on that's the way I was promoting my books to generate sales while the shutdown was going on. I'm sure you've seen a lot of these. I have a couple of friends who are seamstresses, and I think everybody's making masks now, various shapes and sizes. And we don't know what's going to happen afterwards. Everybody's outside with a mask now, but who knows if a mask will become part of your standard attire even after the COVID-19 virus. We don't know. So if you are in the business of making soft furnishings or clothes or whatever, obviously the mask is the next option, and it might not, just like I said, not just be for this season, it might continue afterwards. I saw there's some wonderful things happening here in Barbados. I don't know if they're in other parts of the world, but delivery systems, we had some delivery people before, and I've used them a couple of times, but not a lot. But these are lifesavers. These are two that I use. Here for you and in tutus. I'm blatantly advertising their business, because what they do is they go and they actually buy your groceries for you and they deliver them. This is amazing. It's wonderful, because when you see the queues outside the supermarkets, or sometimes I see videos of other countries like Jamaica and Trinidad, and there are people crowding the doors, and it's chaos. I said, there's no way I'm getting those lines. So when I heard about these guys, I immediately called them, and I guess there are a lot of them popping up. So they actually go out there, shop for you, pay for your groceries, deliver, and bring them to your house. And you pay them for the groceries and the delivery, etc. So that's been awesome. Now, I'm not advertising my books again here. I want us to be thinking of going forward, because these books are all edited by a friend of mine. She is a teacher, but a few years ago, she was saying she needed to earn some extra money. She wanted to earn some extra income. And I was trying to find out, okay, what do you have in your house? What is your oil? What can you do? So your oil is whatever you have, whatever you have your computer. I teach English, but I have degrees in, I know, journalism and communications and all these various degrees. And she wasn't really only using them. She's doing English, but she was not using them otherwise. So I said, well, why don't you try editing? And she, after that, she edited all these books for me, and I paid her a good set of money to do it. So she's been earning money now from editing as well as from teaching. So I want us to be thinking, as many of you said, what can you do going forward? You might be doing something now, but I want you to start thinking, what else can I do to add to that? What do I have in my house? What skills do I have that I might not be using? I mean, some of you might be good at social media and that kind of thing. And believe me, I would pay somebody to do my social media, because it's something that I'm not great at, and it's something that I need. So there are things that you might take for granted that you can use in your business going forward. Now, the second thing the prophet said to the lady is, go around to all your neighbors. Now, your neighbors are not necessarily just neighbors. Your neighbors could be friends, it could be people in your church, it could be work colleagues, or it could be literally your neighbors. And your neighbors are people that he said, go to your neighbors and ask them for jars. So your neighbors are any relationships that you have. As I said, friends, work colleagues, etc. For me, don't take too much time on this, but I remember when I was trying to promote a book I wrote a couple of years ago, one of my teachers way back from primary school, she is in a book club. So I called her up as a neighbor, and she said, okay, we're gonna do your book in the book club, and you can come to my house and we'll go through it, discuss it, and all that. So as a neighbor, she was able to provide me with the opportunity. So the prophet told the lady, the widow, go to all your neighbors and collect jars. Now your jars are opportunities to sell your oil. So your neighbors, your friends, your work colleagues, your church members, your gym members, whatever, they are people who can give you opportunities to sell your business. So sometimes we have a business, but we haven't fully utilized our neighbors. We might be trying to flog the same old dead horse. We might be trying to set up a business, a location, and expect people to come to us. Whereas if we go to our friends and our neighbors, etc., we can get them to open doors for us. So one of the things that I was planning to do before the shutdown, and I'll have to tailor that a little bit, was to connect with a lot of my work colleagues and people who I used to work with when I was in accounting and so on, and say, can I come to your office now and share whatever I'm doing? Maybe it's about a book, maybe it's a module, something, you know, have a lunch and learn, and out of that, present that way. So I want us to be thinking now, who are the people that we can target, and target not in a bad way, target to help us with our business. Those are the people, our neighbors, and make a list of all the people that you can think of that they can help you to give you opportunities to sell your oil. And here are a few of the opportunities that I had from using my neighbors. I'm say using in the best possible way, from leveraging the relationship I have with my neighbors. One, I had a neighbor who has a lovely plantation house, actually a Vaucluse plantation house. And when I did my book Vaucluse, I connected with her, and today we did an awesome tea party where we had high tea and talked about journey with the book and so on. And that gave me opportunities to sell books. In fact, I included the book in the price of the tea, which was outrageous, but people paid because it was something different. And then I have a friend who has a soft furnishings business, exclusive furniture, really lovely stuff. And she has a lot of tourists down there on the west coast of Barbados. So she had me in around Christmas, I think it was last year or year before. And I was able to sell books again to the tourists that came in. And so there are different opportunities that your neighbors can give you to sell your oil. And you need to make sure that you tap into them. Because sometimes we don't have a problem with oil. Sometimes we have products and services that we can sell, but we may have a jar problem, or we may have a neighbor problem. And when I say problem, what it means is that we haven't fully utilized all the people that we know that we can ask to open doors or give us a chance to do this or to bring our product or service, and we haven't used all those opportunities. So in the story, what happened is, as long as the sons kept bringing the widow oil, bringing her jars, she was able to keep pouring the oil, and the oil kept multiplying as long as there were jars. Bring another jar, and they said there's not another jar left, then the oil stopped flowing. So your oil is going to stop flowing when your jars run out, when you stop creating opportunities to sell. So we don't want to get to that stage, okay? So therefore, the next thing you need to do is, you have your businesses already, most of you, and you're talking about maybe doing something different. And especially in this season, I want you to, as Donna was talking about stock taking concerning, you know, your mental health and your physical and everything, you need to do stock taking concerning your business as well. You know, spend some time, we have loads of time, so take some time for yourself and just start to write down everything you know, what you can do, all the skills, abilities you have, resources you have. You might have fruit in your house, you may have all kind of things. I remember even hearing somebody talk about a flu bomb where you create things with lemon, honey, ginger, garlic, and all these things. And I was telling somebody, make that. I don't feel like making it. If you could make that for me and bottle it, I would buy it. So even things like that you might take for granted, you might make for your family, that could be something that you could sell, especially now, because we want to keep our immune system strong and healthy. And everybody doesn't want to have to sit down and grate her ginger and crush up garlic and all that. So those are things that you could think about. For your business. And then finally, go and sell. Now, here's the thing. We might not necessarily be able to go right now. I think one of the questions somebody asked earlier is, if you have a brick and mortar business, a photocopying company.
Donna, you just broke up a bit.
Okay, wonderful. It's my, any better? Okay, any better?
Right, you're answering a question in terms of the brick and mortar.
Right, yes.
Question someone would have posted.
Yes, somebody was asking, what do you do if you have a brick and mortar business, something like key cutting or photocopying? What do you do then? This is where we have to get really creative. A lot of people now are delivering or getting people to deliver for them. So say for the photocopy business, if people can email the documents to you, say exactly what they want, the size they want, etc., so that there's minimal interaction. And then you come back to them and say, okay, your documents are going to be ready at this time, come and pick them up or have them delivered. You have to start looking at creative ways to do things. Even with the key cutting, you might now have to create an envelope where somebody drops in their key, puts in how many they want and all their contact information. You get the envelope, you cut the key, you got here by this to pick up the key and pay. and you have to pay online, you might not be able to do the cash. So there are various things that we have to really now tweak and find ways to sell. And I'm just amazed at some of the creative ideas I'm seeing, people finding ways to do things online or delivery, all kinds of things. And you know, the sky's the limit. We really have the time now to really sit down and think of creative ways that we can do our business and to make sure that we continue growing and expanding as we go forward and thriving. As I said, I have a free video series that's on my website. You can go online and see donnaevery.com. What it does is I've taken these principles from what you have in your house. I've done 3 little videos, just reasons. One, I want to see people using the principles to start, maybe starting something for the first time, or looking at what their business is now and seeing how they could add something to it or how they can grow. But I'm also using it to build my business. So if you go on there, and build my list. So one thing you're on is start finding ways to build your bit list. And that's by giving away something free, but making people sign up for it, putting their email address, put their contact information, so that when they sign up, that's one person you legitimately have their email address that you can now forward stuff to when you have, you know, new products, new services, etc. So I'm building my list. I'm also promoting my book on that website, and I'm giving people a chance to have something free. So that's it for me. We are happy to take any questions and now. And
all right, so we had a previous poll that we wanted to bring up from Dawn's presentation. We'll just do that now.
Yes, please.
Just take a few seconds to fill it out. It's only a couple questions, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll proceed on to the Q&A. Most persons should have completed by now.
I think so.
All right, so we'll open for questions from to the panel. If anyone has any questions related to the presentation or generally in terms of what you yourself might have had questions about, you can ask right now. Oh. Anyone?
Have they finished? Oh,
Yeah, I think this may be completing the poll.
oh, here we go. Interesting.
Yeah, so it seems that most persons are around surviving. They have challenges around their financial and business career, which is to be expected.
Yeah.
Some withdrawal symptoms in social, recreational, mental, and emotional, I suppose. And then there are lesser cases, but still significant enough relationships and physical health. A few people say they're sinking.
Oh my.
Thriving is another, the second in terms of professionally.
Yeah. Well, at least that's good news.
And future-wise, most persons are hopeful.
This is good.
So I guess you can speak to that.
I'm very happy that most people are hopeful, because without hope, we don't have much. Hope is what keeps us going and drives us towards making plans for the future. I noted that quite a few people, as expected, are having challenges with their money. Money is an issue. And this is usually one of the major issues with life, apart from the pandemic. And I see also that some people are also having challenges, even with recreation and so on, because we take that for granted. But when you can't go and you can't visit your friends and you can't go shopping and you can't go to your health club, it affects you as well. But I'm very happy to see that most people are hopeful, because we know that we're coming out of this. So I would just invite you in whatever ways that you can to keep track of everything that's going on. And if you feel like you're sinking, I noticed that some people, nobody seems to be sinking personally, which is really good news. You feel like you're sinking professionally, get some help, talk to somebody, but you want to at least keep your head above water until you can do better in the pandemic.
All right. There's a question here. I have a small construction business and I'm stuck with going forward. I think Donna might have addressed a bit with that in terms of what you do while you're on downtime.
Yeah, I mean, Anissa, if I pronounce that correctly. My husband also has a small construction business, and right now he's literally on the phone right now with a potential client. So use this time to really start to connect with people who again, you can apply these principles as well. Who are your neighbors? Who are people that you can make a list of people that you can connect with and start calling people literally and saying, you know, when we come out of this, is there anything you need done? Be proactive in going after the business and not necessarily waiting for the business to come. And while you're on shutdown, work on your business. Start putting systems in place in your business. So when you move again, you have things in place. Especially if your accounts are behind. I happen to be an accountant, which is what I do for my husband, right? Free, not free, right? Well paid for it. But I know a lot of small businesses, their accounts are usually in chaos. So this might be a good time to get your accounts. If they're not, if they're good, great. If they're behind and stuff, this is a good time to start putting things like that in order, so that when you go forward, you know, you can hit the ground running. So I would suggest, one, make a list of all your neighbors, start calling people and see what opportunities there are available for you to and not necessarily wait for a project to come out that you have to tender on. Colleen is asking, sorry, go ahead, Greg.
Right, so to add to that, many entrepreneurs would have expressed views that they don't have time to work on their business. I think just to add what Donna is saying, you can take this time to sit down and do strategies and so on, because generally most persons would be forbidden from doing the normal work. And therefore, you can do the background work in terms of planning and so on, and keep in contact with your potential clients. Next question is, how long do you think it will be before business starts picking back up?
Well, if I knew that, I don't know. But business, depending on what you do, you might need to actually start looking at another stream of income that could start earning money right now. It might be something online is on that you can do online. You can start earning money right now. If it is not, nobody knows really when business will start picking back up. We don't even know when we're going to come out of this shutdown here in Barbados, far less anybody anywhere else. So start preparing yourself for when it comes out. And as I said, if it's something that you can't do now, find another source of income that you have in your house right away. It'd be nice if you could maybe give some more information on what you actually do. So I can be more.
So I think this is Colleen. Maybe you can give a better insight in terms of what you do or what you're looking to get into.
And while Colleen is typing, Marley has cold press.
I have a cold press juice business which sells 100% fresh watermelon juice. Because of this, I have 5-day shelf life. I have to get into groceries, but I am afraid to pasteurize or put preservatives in my juice. Any advice on what I should consider doing?
Maybe what I've noticed recently is that there are a lot of people now driving around delivering things. So if you're saying you want to get into grocery,
All right.
pay you at a lower price and then put on the markup. So maybe it's something you can have delivered so that you can go straight to people, cut out the middleman, and still give them fresh juices rather than put it in the groceries. I don't know how big the market is from, but
right, you were breaking up there, Donna. But just
oh,
to
am I
repeat,
breaking again? Okay.
yeah, just to repeat, you spoke about delivery and probably reaching out to, I think, new customers around the area. You're not sure how large the current customer base is and so on. So just you can go
And
on from there.
also, I know, although you did want to go into groceries, which would give you a wider market, as I was saying, if you cut out the middleman, that is the grocery store, and go directly to the customer, you would have to carry it. So that is something you could possibly consider.
If I can add to that, Gregory, I noticed quite a few people that I have never seen selling anything before, selling things via WhatsApp. You know, so people selling vegetables and stuff, they're just putting them on WhatsApp and you're contacting them directly. So this would be what Donna is saying, that you can go directly to your customer, put up your juices on WhatsApp and let them know that they have to order right away, and they can get them delivered, or they can do it by.
Yeah, I think most people would have to pay attention to their business model, as they'll notice that some things are changing. And as you pointed out, there are new opportunities as well that we could and probably should look to consider. The next one is, I have an indigenous sweets business. So since the pandemic started, pardon?
This is Colleen who had mentioned us before,
which has dried up, which is understandable as people focus on food rather than desserts. For now, I am working on converting my website to e-commerce so that I can get online sales when things start picking back up. Right. So that was the Colleen.
So you've answered your question, Colleen, in a way. You've already started doing something until.
I wanted to acknowledge Kes, is that the name? I too experienced a similar thing. You said that after 2 weeks of depression and being grounded helped too, and coupled with your need to survive. And a similar thing happened to me, because when I first started, because my boys live overseas, at first I started to, feel panicked a little bit. But as you said, the spiritual grounded really helps. So I'm very happy for you. Thanks for sharing.
All right, great. They complimented your presentations. I sell currently in a farmer's market, and it's really a hit with customers, especially since people are trying to keep their immune system strong.
Yes, they're actually thriving, especially the fruit and vegetables, the fetches. The delivery services, as Donna mentioned, they are thriving in this time because I'm not going in that line. So I mean, but I actually one or two targeted businesses, that people making masks and so on, that are really actually doing quite well at this time.
Yeah, and it's important to figure out what people want. Yeah. Nobody really wants a book, but they want to escape from the stress for a couple of hours. So that's how I'm kind of pitching my stuff. So think about what do people really want and how can you meet those needs.
All right, great. While in survival mode, prices of your products may take a hit, which I don't think I should if you were priced correctly. I think the person meant it shouldn't if it was priced correctly in the first place. But considering the current situation, would you advise using coupons versus price slashes?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a straight answer.
Well, let's answer Donna, the accountant, but.
Oh, right, yes, go ahead.
Well, that's Donna. All right, I like that answer there. Yeah, I wouldn't slash prices if you could at all afford it, afford not to, because you need the money. So yeah, I like the idea of coupons.
Also, you're devaluing yourself. So when you bring on your price, how are you going to then say that you are worth something else when the pandemic is over? Whereas at your used coupons, you can say your special coupons for the season. So that's
I like that. Yeah.
All right, great. So we're up until 1 o'clock. Any closing comments that you would like to leave with all the participants?
Do you want to go first, now?
Okay. I just want to encourage you to keep your head above water. If you're just keeping yourself from sinking, congratulate yourself. Don't beat yourself up. But you really want to try to thrive. But if you're just keeping your head above water, a lot of the world is doing that. So just stay positive. If you need help, business-wise or personal-wise, please, this is not a time to be proud. Ask for help. Ask for help. The whole world is in a chaotic situation. So don't sit there and get depressed and get hopeless. Ask somebody for help. And this would just be my encouragement to you. And if you think of any other questions, you can feel free to pass them on and we'll try to address them at a later point. Donna?
All right, excellent. Donna?
Great. Just want to say, well, we have the time to work on your business and not just in it. Because when you work on your business, you're going to position it to be grow as we come out of this pandemic and in the future. So to grow your business, you need to work on it, not just in it. Okay?
All right, great. I myself am struggling a bit with the change in routine, and I guess everyone is experiencing this. What I would like to thank everyone for participating and providing questions and so on. It has been great to touch base with other human beings. and so I'd like to thank everyone involved and hope that you all hang in and keep there until next week.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Great.
Thanks.